Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The IBF mandatory challenger Kubrat Pulev has been cleared to fight in the United States once more. The Bulgarian had been barred from fighting in California, which would have prohibited him fighting elsewhere in the United States because the commissions recognize each other's sanctions, following an incident in which he kissed a reporter in a post-fight interview after his fight with Bogdan Dinu in March. That incident with Jenny Sushi Rivalo, she complained to the California State Athletic Commission, also alleging that Kubrat Pulev grabbed her buttocks off camera after the interview. That has never been substantiated, I might add. And in May, he fronted a hearing where he was banned provisionally for 6 months, but he was given the opportunity to have that lifted if he met certain criteria. He has now done so. The commission has unanimously voted in its July meeting 6-0 in favour of ending this suspension that it previously had handed out. So this is good news for Kubrat Pulev, who obviously wants to continue his career. They're looking at a fight in September, but I'll come to that a bit later. He obviously, through his own actions and through what he did, not thinking about the consequences of his actions, has been through a couple of months of up and down. Obviously, the scrutiny of this case has been quite large. It really did garner worldwide attention when it happened. Still a lot of interest in the case. Even Jenny Sushi Rivalo, with her lawyer Gloria Allred, just recently held a press conference to admonish Bob Arum, which is Pulev's co-promoter, over some comments that Arum had made after the Tyson Fury fight, in which Arum had said that Kubrat Pulev had really done nothing wrong and they wanted some sort of punishment meted out to Arum. Obviously, this has not happened at this point and potentially won't, now that Kubrat Pulev has obviously had his ban ended. So he will be free to fight again in the United States. For him, obviously, he's pretty happy about this. There's been a bit of activity on his associated Facebook pages. Here is one from his own Facebook page. Kubrat Pulev will be boxing in the territory of California again. The good news came after the State Sport Commission, with a full majority, removed his ban at today's meeting. Also on the affiliated Kubrat Pulev Sports, 3 different posts. So this one here, moving on. So he is with Bob Arum, also his promoter Ivalo Gotsev, and I believe on the left there that is John Wirt. Wirt and Ivalo Gotsev, they run Epic Sports and Entertainment. They are Kubrat Pulev's co-promoters along with Top Rank. And then further down here, he's with Ivalo Gotsev, saying to be continued, Pulev team. And then there's a bit of a longer, which I can only sort of take to be a potential story that's been lifted from media potentially. Otherwise, it's a very massive statement, which goes into some detail about what actually happened at the hearing. So Kubrat entered the hall accompanied by lawyer John Wirt and manager Ivalo Gotsev. This happened at a meeting where the Cobra answered several questions to the members of the commission. Pulev was invited to speak English without translator. After him, Jennifer Rivalo entered the hall with her advocate, Gloria Allred. Kubrat Pulev answered short questions. I made a mistake. I regret. I apologize repeatedly to Jennifer Rivalo. I'm doing it again. I realized I made a mistake right after the kiss. And further down here it says, with full endorsement, 6 votes to 0. However, members of the Sports Commission have ruled that the abolition of the Cobra's ban to box in the next similar offence to Pulev, his licence will be taken for life for the state in question. The next professional appearance of Kubrat is expected to be in September in the United States. The date, place and name of his opponent are in the process of clarification. So clearly Kubrat Pulev is on his last chance. So any sort of similar sort of offending, he will obviously have his license taken for life. And that would mean, because the commissions recognize the punishment of other commissions within the United States through the association that they have, that he would effectively be banned from fighting in the United States for life. So he has to really sort of walk the straight and narrow now. And the first part of that is obviously his next fight, which they are saying is going to be in September. And with this incident now seemingly behind him, we'll have to sort of see. You could never say never with these things. It'll be interesting to see what Jennifer Ravallo and her lawyer, Gloria Allred, do as a sort of counter to this, if anything, because we don't know if they will. They obviously haven't been happy with some of what's been said by the likes of Kubrat Pulev in the course of this whole thing, as well as promoter Bob Arum. So we shall see where that goes. But Pulev himself, for him, I'm sure he is pleased, and seemingly from some of these posts, he is looking pleased. A big smile here, and obviously here with Bob Arum and his other promoters. So looking to be back in the ring in September, which I think would be in the United States, given he's promoted by Top Rank. It wouldn't make sense, I don't think, to have it somewhere else. They're obviously looking at some point through his IBF mandatory status to hold a title fight. Most likely it would have to be in the United States. Potentially, I mean, obviously these things, purse bids and other bits and pieces. We shall see what happens with him. His title shot is looking somewhere likely for the back end of 2020. At the earliest, it's sort of hard to say. He is behind the WBO mandatory, which is Alexander Usyk. So, we'll have to see where all that goes. But in the interim, a fight in September. And given the caliber of opponent was Bogdan Dinu for his fight in March, I'm not expecting it to be anyone better. So I sort of think somewhere between top 30 and top 50 is probably going to be about the lot at the moment for Pulev. Some risk involved, but given he's a pretty decent boxer who can generally get the best of his opponents through his skill, I would expect to see him facing guys that present some risk, but really he should be the heavy favourite in the fight. Who that could be, it's a bit of an open question, but it won't be anyone who's a massive puncher, and I don't believe it'll be anyone who could realistically outbox him. So we shall see. But Kubrat Pulev, he is back, he's allowed to fight and continue his career in the United States if he so chooses. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.